Alrighty. Welcome to the finance meeting. I'll call it to order. Ask everyone to please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Take a roll call. Councilmember Gully.
Here.
Councilmember Figueroa. Councilmember Steele. Present. Councilmember Mitt. Here. Councilmember Conley was present. Councilmember Soriento. Here. Council President Mantello is here. We have 6 present, 0 absent. Or one. I apologize. Thank you. I need my 10. The presentation of the agenda, we have a number of items, end of the year items, summary levies, and then we have a few very nice resolutions for folks who dedicated many years here to the city of Troy and many hours away from their family. We'll open it up now to the public forum. Would anyone like to speak on any item on the agenda? Okay, we'll close the public forum and get right to it. Ordinance 84. Ordinance amending the general fund and capital projects budgets. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion? So moved. Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. Andy, this one for the vehicles, and I did notice in your memo that you said the department is working on purchasing the vehicles. You envision them being ordered shortly or ready?
Ordering probably first quarter 2024.
Okay, and how many, Andy?
It's not a bond resolution, so it's going to depend on the pricing. There's no, the cap is the appropriation total. It's not like a bond resolution where it says X number marked,
Right.
Y number of unmarked. Assistant Chief Parker is the one overseeing the purchase of them.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 84 carries 6-0. Ordinance 85. Ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid water charges onto the 2024 property tax bill. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully. Make sure you're not on this list. It was a surprise in prior years. Even a $4 penalty will put you on the list. I know someone that that's happened to. So saying that, just make sure you're not on the list, because obviously you should abstain. So we have a motion, we have a second. Andy, what's the total of this re-levy?
So I'm going to preface this. This includes city water, city sewer, and county sewer. $1.97 million.
So the county sewer, do we know what portion of the 1.97?
About 50% of that.
50%.
Yeah, about 50%. We haven't looked at the splits yet.
Mhm.
We'll see those. So process wise, assuming all these pass tonight, the plan is to test all tax bills tomorrow and then run them for real on Monday. With that process done and over with, which aligns with prior year calendars. So that is our plan. At that point, we'll see the split between city water, city sewer, and county sewer, but I would assume it's somewhere around 50%.
And Andy, the folks who escrow, is there any notice that goes to them or no?
My understanding is no. Well, they find out.
When?
My understanding in 8 years is that they find out after the bill's paid, and then we get the calls.
Yes.
But people upset about it.
Yeah.
Yes, escrow does cover the reloads.
Oh, Hold on one sec, someone just wants
I gotta
to
keep my name.
double check that.
There's no need, you have to search by address. It's sorted, if it helps, it's sorted in tax map number. Probably not, that's the tricky part of it.
I am on there, I know. that.
75 pages
You're on
long.
there? The question is, will it pass?
We have enough people to vote for it.
I'm not on there, so I can tell you, I am not.
You got a broken water line under your yard?
Right. Councilmember Hilda.
I'm clean.
I do recall that last year we did not require abstentions unless, as long as those who are on the list voted in the affirmative. Then I'm encouraging anyone's vote, but that's what we employed last year
Okay.
for re-levy votes.
Full disclosure, so, but you are on it.
And I am.
Okay. We're not, so it's up to you if you want to abstain or not. I will
You're
be
gonna vote
voting
yes,
in the affirmative. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Ordinance 85 carries 6-0. All right. Ordinance 86. Ordinance authorizing the re-levy of vacant building fees onto the 2024 property tax bills. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
So move.
Motion, Councilmember Gully, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele. I am looking at some of these, like, that are up there, 13K, et cetera. We have a motion, we have a second. What's the total on this one, Nancy? I apologize.
$500,000.
And that all goes to the city, correct?
Well, yes, I mean, generally we see a decent collection of vacant building fees on. And this one was, I think, up a little bit from last year.
I was going
It's
to.
up, it did, when we ran the reports, this was not one of the ones that was surprising. Or like that we knew right away was up significantly, the water was up from the prior year. This one probably pretty accurate to what we expected this year.
And Andy, just real quick, this is more, and it's obviously not cash flow. It'll go into the 2024 general fund, correct?
For all of the re-levies, this one, the revenue does get recognized when it's paid. So this will impact revenues in 2024. The other, like water, that's a cash flow thing, garbage is a cash flow, shop work's a cash flow. Building demos is as well. This is the only one that gets recognized as it's paid,
Okay,
revenue wise.
sure.
That impacts the budget, the rest are cash flow.
Good to know. All right. We have a motion, we have a second, further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 86 carries 6-0. Ordinance 87, ordinance authorizing re-levy of unpaid charges for water and sewer, shop work, services onto the 2024 property tax bills. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion? So moved. Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully. On the discussion, I did notice on this one, Andy, the Carlisle Avenue, 63, there's like close to 716K and change. What's that all been? I mean, literally, it's a third of the total.
Guessing it would be a sewer hookup and or a water hookup. That's what the shop work bills generally are for, or both. My guess is it's both, but 4,000 is the water hookup and then 12,000.
Gotcha. Okay. Further questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 87 carries 6-0. Ordinance 88, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid solid waste management fees onto the 2024 property tax bill. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration. Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Gully, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion. One thing I saw in this one, there was a $1,700 one for 112 M. Is that the foreclosed property that was in the 112 M? How did it get up to 1,700? Nancy?
What's the address?
112 M.
Is that in downtown?
No, Lansingburg.
North of Williamsburg. Well, they have a high unit, then I asked because I want, changes my answer if they're in their share
Okay.
district. It's based off of their unit count. So they would have had,
That's the number of units.
it's a number, yeah, that's what,
Well, he had a 5 and he turned it into a 4.
well, if he would have had to go to code, you get a reclassification down to 4, which off of that dollar amount makes me think he could build it by.
Yep. 22 Second Street, where's, no, that's Sacramento. 22. Okay. Questions, discussion, and I think that total,
786,000.
yeah. That's higher than normal.
Higher, we're waiting, I want to see the count, the actual number of re-levies on that one, which is, we'll get on the re-levy report, when we do taxes. To compare year over year, because we had the fee increase. But when this number came out, this was, I expected the jump in water, I was disappointed to see the jump in garbage. We continue to see this full problem that we just talked about, the budget problem that's there, but then the cash flow problem, and the garbage part, because people don't pay the.
Yeah.
We use the 2-step bill, we send out delinquent notices every month that we really can, and it's not,
I'm seeing a 13-cent one.
pay your interest.
Yep.
If we re-levy everything over, I mean, if it's there, we re-levy it.
Further questions, discussion? Yeah, that is high compared to prior years. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 88 carries 6-0. Ordinance 89, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid bulk pickup fees and garbage fines onto the 2024 property tax bills. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Mitt. Discussion, just scrolling through, Andy, seeing if anything jumps out. What's our total?
Just under $166,000
Oh, okay, so,
in violations.
okay.
It's bulk and violations.
Okay, I was going to ask that, and I recall during the budget, Tommy Abbott, the violations, the revenue for next year had gone down. And Tommy was kind of perplexed, but potentially could have been this number, a part of that.
The revenue is recognized as billed,
I would, okay.
so
All right.
that's
That's
not.
not it. Okay. All right. Further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 89 carries 6-0. Ordinance 90, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid demolition charges onto the 2024 property tax bill. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
So moved.
We got a tie here. I'm gonna give it to Councilmember Conley Wilson. We have a motion, Councilmember Conley Wilson, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele. The one on Old Six, that, the 2263, who was that, may I ask?
I can just, I'd rather not say
Okay,
that property
okay.
owner in public.
Okay, no problem, no problem. And then 6 Ave, that was over 400K. Is that Haskell?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Tyler, Stowe was the fire. 289 Ford. Yeah, building collapse, terrible collapse. Andy, we are recouping these, normally, when it does go on their property tax, does that ever fall through? Like, it goes on their property tax bill, but they don't pay their property
Yeah,
tax. bill.
I would say from what I've seen, that there's a higher probability that the city will end up foreclosing on the property than having to go to. My time there. I just have to say, I haven't seen demo charges get paid on re-levy. But more often than not, they get either end up in bankruptcy or end up in foreclosure.
Mhm. I could see that, okay,
Chair,
yes, Councilmember Gully.
shouldn't this be between, instead of the property owner claiming bankruptcy, at the time they have their house, they're supposed to have insurance on that house. Wouldn't that be a claim that the city could file against the insurance company to recoup those revenues based on the fact that, you know, we should be getting their insurance, not waiting for them to go to bankruptcy court?
True,
Do we do that?
believe so.
Although if they're not holding a mortgage,
Councilmember Mitt,
I'm sorry,
that's okay.
if they're not holding a mortgage, then they're not obligated to carry property.
I'm not sure.
But I thought you had that property insurance.
Some of these events are not insurable events. So, a collapse may not be an insurable event. A demolition that goes awry, that probably is not an insurable event. Where they are insurable events, like a fire, then we would make our best efforts at recovering from the insurance company. But that's also, there's no guarantee. We do make the effort.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'm a little confused. You're saying if the building collapses, they might not cover it. Could you give me some sort of reasonable explanation why that would be covered under the insurance of the property?
Sure. Have you ever read your homeowner's policy?
I can honestly say no.
Okay, yeah, if it's 8 pages long, 7 pages of it are exclusions in the 8 page of your bill. So,
For the folks out there, Seamus, an insurance agent, shaking his head, yeah, yeah.
yeah, there are a number of reasons why an event may not be covered by your insurance. Just take a look at your homeowner policy someday. Shocking.
But we do try to exhaust that option.
Yes.
Until they say no.
If we can find an insurer, if we can get cooperation from the owner to get their policy.
And Mayor, I recall Alpha, it took a while, they were not, they did not get the money they thought that they would get. Eventually, the city and Alpha came to an agreement.
Yep.
So I kind of saw that one unfold.
Yeah, these are never quick. If there's a demolition that we undertake, it would not be uncommon for it to take a year or two to get settled.
Thank you.
Thanks, okay. Any more questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, ordinance 90 carries 6-0. Ordinance 91, ordinance authorizing the sale of surplus real property acquired by M foreclosure for the premises at 454 Hoosick Street. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
So
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. I know we have Dean here, and I hope you don't mind, Dean. Do you mind coming up and just giving us a lowdown on who proposed what for the property? Then the property subcommittee can tell us why they chose the particular proposal that they chose. And this is the property for folks' knowledge. It's on the corner of South Lake and Hoosick, the former church. Thanks, Dean.
Correct. So let me summarize it a little bit. This property has been for years for sale, abandoned by the former ownership. Been dilapidated. I'm not trying to talk the property down, but just trying to explain the situation that's at hand, and it's getting worse. So we put the property in the market. We have received a total of the 4 offers total. Now, the problem with some of the offers, and I've made it known as the submission of the offers came in, this will be conveyed, as I'm told, through a quitclaim deed. There is also a statute of limitations which enables lien holders for a number of months, and I believe it exceeds this property, will probably 13, 14 months to come back and file liens. Therefore, this really deems the property to be unmortgageable, uninsurable. So this rules out a good number of purchasers for the property. We have a couple of the offers who had still put an offer forward with due diligence time to seek approvals, unnamed approvals, but approvals, which also included financing, which included a long-term situation. I think we're fortunate enough that we've had 2 of the offers which are looking to purchase the properties as is, as a cash deal. They are completely familiar with the fact that it will be a quitclaim deed. Statute of limitations is in place. 2 of the offers were no contingencies. Now, at first I said to myself, what do we have in favor of this? Well, you've got a property that's been on the market and hasn't been sold, not far from these numbers, for years. It is going down. I don't like going in it for health reasons at this point. Regardless, we've had 2 of the offers which are cash, no contingencies, which were submitted before the
Property acceptance.
correct. And they have chosen one of the 2 for reasons I don't quite know, but that's okay. Perfect. Now, some of the committee members might say, well, what are they going to do with it? Well, they want to buy this property as is, and they want to close on this right away, cash, subject to rules and regulations and approvals of whatever they choose to do. Personally, I don't think that, you may disagree, I don't think that Troy could be in a better spot on this. They've got not only revenue coming in from it, they have got to say over, well, Dean, what do they want to do with this? I don't know all of the answers to that, okay? They're investors. Whether it's a possibility of multi-housing, whether it's doing whatever, I don't know. I'm not privy to that, but I don't think they know either. They're willing to put their best foot forward. The offer that the review board chose, I believe they chose because they have a buyer who is seasoned, who has done other developing as well. I think it's an surety that this person has the means to make this happen, and still conditioned upon the municipality approval for whatever they choose to do.
Thank you, Dean. I'm gonna now ask, Councilmember Gully to walk us through why this particular proposal was chosen.
It was the best of the 2 that were available at the time to meet the qualifications for the quitclaim deed and also the situation for the builders. As for what they were building, we weren't too concerned over that because we realized that their steps are go to zoning and planning to get that project approved, and their zoning and planning is in charge of that disposition to choose a project that fits in the comprehensive plan and is a good fit for the city. So that we chose it because it was the best of the 2 deals that we could, move on.
To weigh in here is, someone who coincidentally, spoke the, WAMC, is doing a big story on Hoosick Street, and someone that has lived off of Hoosick Street for 30 years and, very sensitive neighborhood, traffic, and pedestrian safety, et cetera, but then at the same time, as Dean mentioned, this building has been in the market for a long, long time. It is going downhill. The inside, I can't even imagine what is inside of that building. But something does have to happen. So stating that I am going to support this. Obviously though, looking forward, whatever is proposed and in a unique position where next year I will be a part of this and a couple of us on the council will also be a part of this. So monitoring this is very important to ensure that whatever proposal does fit with, the situation on Houston Street, which is not getting any better, but at the same time, the neighborhood. So, further discussion? Sure. Yes, Councilmember Conley Wilson.
I just have a question for Councilmember Gully. Was the other applicant, was that someone based in Troy or also someone based outside of Troy, if you remember?
To be honest with you, I can't remember what happened at lunch yesterday, so I could give that answer to you,
Dean, do you mind?
which I do not have.
Dean has it. Thanks, Dean.
Yes, the other offer, which was on the table as a cash offer, was someone who resides in the city of Troy.
That, I guess that's just something that I'm typically concerned about is like, this is from, if I'm reading this correctly, someone from Chicago, Illinois versus someone from the city.
Just a little bit. And we have verified there are no tax liens on either of the purchasers for any property. And I believe, and I'm not speaking for the review board, but I believe a large part of their determination was also based upon the fact that there were other projects done by the person they chose, not my choosing, but they were, as I mentioned before, seasoned.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully, I was just going
that's a project. You minimize parking. Extremely difficult building to deal with on that corner. So just to sell somebody because they live here, without having that background to do those type of projects. And the numbers just didn't make sense. We just, we felt it was stronger to go with somebody who had a track record with us on these type of properties to develop them. Because what we don't want to do is see what other properties is sell them, and then 2 years later going, hey, what are they doing down there?
like Castle.
Oh, God, so waiting on Ellen, there's a lot of things that are not.
Not bad.
What do you call it? Patios, I mean, there's a lot of projects, we're waiting, bigger projects. And this offer just seemed to have the background to make it complete the project and go to zoning and code or zoning and planning properly to present project. So it's never easy, trust me. You'll know that whoever's on the next part.
Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, we have 5 ayes, 1 abstain, 5, 0, 1. Ordinance 91 carried. We'll hit the resolution 111. You know what, before we go further, I would ask, resolution 117, resolution 118, resolution 119, resolution 120. I will make a motion to add these resolutions. Is there a second? Oh, 17, yes, correct, sorry. 118 through 120. I apologize. Thank you, Maria. So I'll take that back. 118 through 120. I'd like to add these resolutions. I'll make a motion. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All are added. Okay. Then we'll get back to resolution 111. Andy, if you don't mind coming up on this one, that'd be great. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an employment agreement with the chief of the Troy Fire Department on behalf of the city. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration. Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele. Thank you, Mayor.
Andy
and Stephanie.
deferred.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Mayor. Maybe you just, want to walk us through some of the major highlights of, the, soon-to-be chief.
So this contract largely mirrors the contract we had with Chief McMahon for the past 3 or 4 years. It is the difference, there's a difference in the salary. And then we did add a clause, which we have had in the police chief's contracts for several years, that entitles comp time under certain conditions. And that condition would be limited to situations where hours in a pay period, hours worked in a pay period exceed 90. So the first 10 hours of the chief's time in any pay period would be uncompensated. The first 10 hours beyond 80 would be not compensated. Anything above that would be compensated in the form of comp time. The salary, I think I've said this before, fixing a salary for a chief is more an art than a science. And I look at a number of factors. I look at the pay scales in surrounding communities. I look at the time on the job and the skill sets the individual brings. I look at the complexity, and importantly, the quality of the department's work. And in this instance, I proposed a number that I thought was fair to the chief and fair to the city. And as a taxpayer of the city of Troy, I think it's a good deal, and I would urge its passage.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Gully did have a question.
Sure. What was the pay before you raised?
I'm shooting from the hip here. I think it was between 135 and 140. And that goes back to 2021, I think.
Thank you.
Sure.
Further questions? Yes, Councilmember Conley.
I have the 2023 budget open. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, 145,000.
Thank you.
I had a question about the holidays. I noticed that the list of holidays was missing Juneteenth and had Washington's birthday. I just look at my own holidays and noticed those were missing. I think there's 13 federal holidays, not 12.
What we have done is we have, in terms of the number of the benefits that are in here, what I've done is carried forward the benefits that were in contracts that the individual was a party to prior to becoming chief. So these mirror the contracted, the negotiated benefits of the UFA and the battalion chief's contract.
That this might be something to look forward to next year for the mayor. Let's look at the. Oh, I was just saying, Mayor Madden was saying how the UFA, these are reflecting UFA's negotiated contracts. I was just saying, next year, you might want to think about looking at updating the federal holidays, because they're 13 now as opposed to 12.
I agree, yeah. And actually, when you just raised that, I thought it was just a typo and just accidentally missed.
Yeah, there's also election days. I don't know why that's in between Washington and Memorial Day. Yeah, sorry, this is just like one thing that I nitpicked. No, really, like, oh yeah, that's weird. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, Councilmember
yeah.
Conley, thank you. Councilmember Gully.
Mr. Mayor, reading line has me a little confused. Am I reading this right, that if the chief works on a holiday he'll get 8 hours pay for every hour that he's there? Am I reading that right? It says the chief shall receive up to 8 hours of additional pay prorated for each hour actually worked.
Up to, it's not a guarantee of 8 hours per hour, but for each hour, up to 8 hours that he's there, he'll be compensated for 8 hours, or per. on an
Oh, so it's not
hour.
8 hours paid for every hour he's there.
No, no.
I mean, that's kind of like the way I would read it. Is it me?
What is, Thank you,
Oh,
Mayor.
did I say that? Thank you.
Further questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 111 carries 6-0. Resolution 112, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into employment agreements with the chief, deputy chief, and assistant chief of the Troy Police Department on behalf of the city council. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion. Mayor, maybe just the overview, the biggest highlights of these.
Sure, so, the chief's most recent contract concluded at the end of 2021. So this contract brings them current through the end of 24 next year. And so that obviates the need for the new administration to come in and immediately have to start negotiating contracts for another year. The terms, which I've reviewed with the council president and the majority leader, mirror the terms of the previous contracts that the chiefs have had. There is a salary increase equivalent to 2% for 2022, no retro paid on that, 4% for this year and 4% for next year, 2024. And those are in line with offers and or contracts that have been made to the other bargaining units. Again, there's no retro paid for 2022. The same factors come into choosing or arriving at compensation levels for the chief. You look at level of experience, skill sets they bring, the time on the job, pay scale in surrounding communities, and again, complexity and quality of the department's work. And I believe both in this instance and in the fire department, we have very high quality departments that are on par with the best in the state. So again, I feel it's a fair deal for the city, and as a taxpayer, I'm not at all appalled by this. I support this, and I do think it's a good deal for the chiefs as well. So again, I urge its passage.
Thank you, Mayor. Full disclosure, I did ask the mayor and Rick a couple of questions, and I'll just give you the answers to the questions. A couple of folks had asked, is there retro payment for 2023? Yes. If the chiefs get OT, how do they receive it? No direct OT payments, only comp time. This is me, I'm thinking they are allowed to accumulate comp time. If so, could you give me examples of how they get comp time? They can claim comp time for each hour they work over 90 hours in a 2-week pay period. Only actual working time counts toward the 90 hours. The 91st hour actually worked is compensated as 1.5 hours in their comp time days. Lastly, once comp time is maxed out for each member, 480 hours, what happens? The answer, they are allowed to cash out comp time at any time. Otis.
Yes, I think once the New York State limit on comp time is achieved, it's not that they're allowed, I think it's mandated that they take pay instead of.
Yep. So further questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? 112 carries 6-0. Resolution 113, thank you, Mayor. Resolution commending Jim Gully for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Council President Mantello. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Soriento, and everyone, I'm sure. Discussion. Oh, come on.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
I'm going out the same way I came in, just kidding.
We can't go without at least, I mean, you know, there'll be a lot to say about Jim Gully, over the next 2 weeks, but, you know, very quickly, the one thing I can say about Jim put Lansingburg over politics, Jim put Lansingburg over agendas. Jim loves the burg. He represented his district to the fullest I've seen a council member represent a district in a long time. And I just want to say, I know he loved every second of it, and I hope he stays involved. I know he will stay involved. And Jim, you're just one of the greatest public servants I've ever met. So thank you for your time these past 8 years. You have represented the shoes that Councilmember Keel has to fill, are big shoes to fill. So congratulations, Jim. Thank you for your incredible public service, your dedication, your passion. I love you as a colleague, but I also love you as a friend. And we're going to continue being good friends, I hope. So thank you, Jim.
Council President,
Councilmember Steele.
I just think it's important to note that he hung in there for 8 years. I mean, it's easy to say 8 years and just let it slide. But that is a tremendous commitment to run every 2 years. And so for that alone, he deserves our thanks.
Councilmember Soriento.
Jim, I want to thank you so much for all those years of service and for teaching me a lot of everything that we do. And I'm actually kind of lost at words, but I really do want to thank you for all you've done and for the burg and for all of Troy. So thank you and congratulations.
Councilmember Mann.
You know, not only are you a big cheerleader for the burg, and we're all right to see some of the resurgence in that neighborhood, in the one of the oldest parts of our city, but also, you know, you have always been willing to talk through challenging issues and hear different perspectives. And then you bring that business perspective and that people perspective to the work that you've done. And I know that it's also, you know, city council can take as much time as you allow it to. And so you're willing to get up at the break of dawn on the turkey trot to volunteer. You know, it's just one tiny example of how much this job is more than just sitting at this table. And to really be there, you know, I think it's important for us to be there for all the city employees that are out there at the break of dawn so that so many people can come to our city, and all the celebrations that you brought to Powers Park and help promote those events. And that Lansingburg Business District that is going to just launch that neighborhood into the next level and bring back the burg. So thank you. I've learned a lot from you, and I'm happy to consider you a friend.
Thank you, Councilmember Mann. Anyone else?
Chair.
Yes, Councilmember Conley Wilson.
So I just also want to thank Councilmember Gully. I know we don't always agree, but you've always answered my phone calls, had discussions where I felt very respected and heard, even if we disagreed. And I can tell you care a lot about Troy and Lansingburg. I didn't know before I joined the council that you did the Powers Park and many other community events that are really important. And then also sitting on the IDA and kind of navigating, not only that, but also the committee for, the foreclosed properties. So, you know, I know we may always, not always agree, but I think you always have what's best for Twain.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Conley Wilson, and, if Barb is watching, which I highly doubt she is, I wanted to thank Barb, for sharing Tim with us these past 8 years, and, you know, I've become, just so close to my buddy, so anyway, thank you, Barb. Yep, thank you, Barb, if you're out there, and, we appreciate you sharing Jim with us, so thank you again, Jim. Further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, resolution 113 carries 6-0. We have a similar resolution, 114. Resolution commending Kiani Conley Wilson for distinguished service to the city of Torrey. Council President Mantello, is there a motion?
So move.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion.
Council President,
Councilmember Gully.
County Wilson, exactly right. We didn't agree on that. But we talked through it and found a common ground to work with. I appreciate the fact that when I talk, you listen, when you talk, I listen. That's collaboration. That's how people reach to goals. Might not be on the same side of the aisle, but we're in the same house. We might be on different wavelength, but we sit at the same table, trying to find an answer to the problem. And I thank you for being open-minded, listening. Sometimes I get pretty stubborn, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Further discussion,
Council President,
Councilmember Steele.
I want to thank, councilpersons. Getting all choked up. You have brought a tremendous voice to this council, the voice for the underserved, underrepresented, and you've brought diversity to our midst. And so for that, we're very grateful, and that will sorely be missed. I hope you won't be a stranger.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele. Councilmember Miss.
I have so enjoyed working with you. And I still appreciate your analytical and detailed approach to so many things. And just digging and digging and digging and finding that seed of truth. And your compassion for your constituents and listening to them as they struggle. Well, you have gone through multiple moves within your district, building collapse next door to you, and all the other things. And I think you've been a voice for that inspires other people to look at this job and run, knowing the challenges that it poses, especially when you're at the beginning of your career. And you've gone through a career change. So, I mean, like, talk about 2 years of massive intensity. But I think that your intensity and your passion is incredibly powerful and inspires a lot of people. And, you know, I know it's kind of a trope when they say just the beginning, but yeah, no, this is the launch pad and the rocket fuel is already. And so I'm asked to be your friend, to be your.
Awesome. Thank you, Councilmember Miss. And, you know, if I could add, I ditto everything that's been said, but Councilmember Conley Wilson, and I actually agree on many, many things, and I've seen that over the past 2 years. And the one beauty I think that Councilmember Conley Wilson has brought to the table is, freshness and opening, at least my mind, to things that sometimes, you don't always see. And you've done that for me, like sometimes you'll take the flip side of an issue and you just think that that issue, oh, that's a no-brainer. And Councilmember Conley Wilson will say, hey, wait a minute. You know, like just tonight, Juneteenth is the federal holiday, so I'm gonna look at it next year. So, saying that you always tend to, weave through, you know, the obvious and you find something and, you open my eyes. So I just want you to know, I hope that you continue working with the city. I hope that you continue being a part of the city, being a part of not just government, but the sustainability task force. I want to revive that. I do hope that you will continue working with us next year because you're a huge asset. And I know your time commitment, it was very difficult with the council. I hope that somehow we can figure out a way to continue capturing your passion and your love for the city. And I'd love for you to be a part of that. So just thank you for your past 2 years. You've been a really refreshing eye opener for me. Thank you. Councilmember Sorientos.
I want to thank you for your hard work and dedication, bringing, your skills to the table. It's been really great working with you, and I also enjoyed sharing my snacks with you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Councilmember Sorientos. Councilmember Conley Wilson.
I'm like trying not to get all teared up, but we still got another meeting.
Oh, yeah, just so you know, at the special, we'll do this again.
Oh, the longest thing. I still kind of speechless that we've kind of gotten this far and kind of thinking about where we started versus where we are now. I feel like I've been able to work with each and every one of you guys. I really appreciate all of the affirmations and all of that. Certainly been challenging, but it's also been rewarding. I can be like, oh, it's another hard thing. Cool. So, you'll see me around. I hope to continue on the task force and all that. Just trying to get my bearings first and then dive back next year.
Awesome. Thank you. Councilmember. One word, resilience. Councilmember Conley Wilson, absolutely. All right, we have a motion, second. The discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 114. Oh. Come on. Okay. Resolution 114 carries 501. Resolution 115, resolution commending Stephen Figueroa for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Council President Mandela. Is there a motion? So moved. Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully. Maybe we can all hop down Steve's restaurant and wish them well. I think that'd be really cool. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 115 carried 6-0. Resolution 116. Resolution commending Emily Venn for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Council President Mantello, is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Soriento, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele, discussion? Yes, Councilmember Soriento.
I want to say it's been great working with you. We've actually, along the way, established a great friendship, and you're a people person. You showed how much you love the city. And it's been so great working with you, and don't be a stranger.
Thank you, Councilmember Soriento. Councilmember Conley Wilson, then Councilmember Go.
And also other words, but Emily, you've been a pleasure to work with. It's been really great to get to know you, and I remember beginning of the accountant term, it was kind of like, but we've had many conversations. Having a lot of conversations, sometimes frustrating, sometimes really enlightening, sometimes, I feel like we are able to kind of bring a lot of different perspectives, to the table, and you certainly brought a lot of like legal perspective and just, perspectives being a small business owner in Troy, and really, just helping me understand, helping, the council also understand if it falls and all of that. And also just really, being able to express different perspectives. Just go into detail about a lot of things, so appreciate all that and really, enjoyed working.
Awesome. Thank you, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Councilmember Gillis.
I'm gonna say Emily, not council, but I'm gonna say Emily as a person. I have had so much fun getting to know you and the council members. But it's been uniquely special because when I was sitting out there freezing all by myself, I said, hey, you want somebody to ride with you? I thought you were nuts. Now I know you're nuts. Once you get up at 4:30 in the morning, go sit in sub-zero weather and we're chatting all the time. Great. As a person, I want to say you're a lot of fun, you're a lot of energy, and I enjoy the time we spend. As a council person, I want to say you always did your research. You always had a lot of interesting points to bring out. Some of which I knew where you were going, some of which I didn't. But it was all good at the end. I mean, it was all, that's what it's about. It's about our personalities coming together. And you certainly exercise your right to speak up, like, and I respect that. And I hope the next council will have the same kind of strength amongst the members. I really do. Thank you for your time.
Very nice. Councilmember Steele.
Yeah, I want to thank Emily for her work on the neighborhood improvement program. She joined us midterm and appreciate your help with that. Thank you.
Awesome. And, I'd like to echo what everyone said, and, Emily is not going anywhere. We did ask Emily to come across to the other side, but she wanted to stay. And, in my eyes, Emily is fierce. She will run again someday, I know that. But I've gotten to know Emily. I think Emily is an incredible person, a very good elected official, and very passionate in what she believes in, despite if she is wrong sometimes. And that's not a bad thing. Emily carries it through to the end. And I just want to thank Emily for her service. I know Emily is going to be a partner next year, and Emily, you're all about Troy. You love Troy, and we are so blessed to have someone like you here in Troy. So thank you.
I want to say, thank you so much for the kind words and the honest words. I think if nothing else, I've always tried to be honest about what I think about something. And I appreciate you, joining my slight weirdness when I'm like, zoning is sexy. And we have passed in this council some of the most significant legislation in the last 25 years of Troy, and we've seen these moments finishing the MACTA, passing some of the most progressive zoning in New York State. That in itself, and little victories, a stop sign, being there for the tenants of Harbor Point Garden and doing those hearings, that was difficult. Hearing those stories and taking on those phone calls. And I appreciate my colleagues understanding that, I am an independent voice on the council, and I do try to hear the different sides of the story, because there's usually more than two. There's usually a mirror. And, I think that part of the strength of what we did as a team was listen to each other and listen to each other's expertise. And I have learned so much from all of you. You know, Irene, your knowledge of HR has probably saved the city thousands and thousands of dollars in, you know, and of civil service. Keani, not only with technology, but like the integration of science and advocacy is major. And Jim, just years of experience, that depth of knowledge, knowing a neighborhood, knowing also how to bring levity to sometimes it's difficult meetings that we have. Still, you are a hard worker, and I love that you do. You bring your district together, slices of soup. Hope you keep that going. And Carmela, you know, I have been watching you pick apart budgets in every agenda, the knowledge that you have of the city's finances and the questions to ask, I think are going to continue our progress in the future. Staying on strong fiscal footing. So, and Steve's love for his community and for the kids of Troy is great. And also, you know, Kim, our former colleague, who truly loves North Central and knows the people of North Central like no one else that has ever seen. So I was able to do what I was able to do because of you. I really want to say. I'm not good at names.
And just very quick, during this, Renzo, if I could just say to all of you, I have been on 4 councils now, and for the majority of my years, it's been in the minority as council president. And 8 years ago, coming in, you know, the press, everyone, how are you gonna do that? Council president with a majority council, and council member Steele will find that out next year. But saying that, it is the balancing act, and you do learn so much how to work together, you know, and as someone who played sports all my life and continue to, I equate it to being on a team. And you need to separate politics and policy, and most of what we do up here is policy. So I just want to thank all of you. This past council was definitely one of the funnest and definitely ranks up there with one of the best councils I've seen in my 30 years in state and local government. So thank you, all of you. Thank you. We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? 116 carries 6-0. The next 4 are resolutions for our administration and our mayor. Resolution 117, resolution commending Andrew Petrowski for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Steele. Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Mint. Councilmember Steele, if you want to. And if you want to lump them together, however you want to hit these.
Well, I think we alluded tonight to a lot of the accomplishments, and we termed them from the council, but they emanated from our controller. A lot of the financial kudos belong to him. The S&P global rating upgraded, the Moody's rating, the fact that we have had balanced budgets, that we've eradicated our debt. I could read this and it would take us many minutes, but I think that we have seen his dedication night after night at these meetings, and I think he earns this and much more for having endured the 5-hour budget meeting last week. So, but sincerely from the heart, Andy, we really appreciate all that you've done, and we wish you very much happiness in the future, wish you well, professionally, and, enjoy your family.
Further discussion? Yes, Councilmember Gully.
Andy. Stand up, I can't see you.
Oh, that's
I mean, how could you hide, right? Andy, I'm gonna miss those little meetings. I'm gonna miss those phone calls. I'm gonna miss those. Do you have a question for me? I love it. You're a professional at what you do. I wish you the best in your future, but I'm very sad. I'm very sad that this is the time you found to find that point in life where you want to move forward, because I really have a lot of respect for what you've done for the city, and they need somebody like you for the next 10, 15, 20 years to get them, keep them going in the right direction. So I hope that we're able to accomplish that goal. You never called me up to drink that bottle of Jack, which is, don't forget, now you're out of here, we can get together. Thank you for all you did for everybody, Andy.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Further discussion? Councilmember Conley Wilson.
I also just want to thank Andy. He's always answered all my questions I've had, even if they probably are a bit like mundane and not so like financially like correct, I guess. And yeah, just hanging in there every single meeting, always being here, always having the answers, or looking them up and following up. Really appreciate your professionalism and just your ability to explain a lot of these things that are a bit complicated when you first start out. So thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Councilmember Soriento.
Andy, I want to say thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. I even was able to, I had the pleasure of working with him on the other side for a few years, and incredible work. And it's truly impressive, and I wish you all the best, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Soriento. Councilmember Mint.
Andy, the fact that you can make water rate increases so understandable to people by using your own family is just an example of how you take something so incredibly complicated as a multi-million dollar city budget and make it accessible, because there are people who watch these meetings and it helps them understand how the city is functioning, and you taught us very quickly so many complex and unique accounting norms that have to happen in municipal government. And I have profound respect for you. And also, I have great respect for the philosophy towards managing our debt that moved us out of debt. It is no small thing that, even in the time that I lived here in Troy, we were back on the brink of the state taking over, and none of our votes mattered anymore because the state would run the show. And your work protected our rights as voters and as taxpayers and as Trojans by bringing us back in partnership, Mayor, in partnership with many councils, but you really were the navigator, the gods. And that is something that, is sort of abstract, but that's one of the foundations of democracy, is managing the money well and managing the resources that we pay out of our pockets to get all the services for all the people who make our city great. So thank you very much. Thank you for making accounting accessible, interesting. Thank you for taking advantage of an inverted yield curve in a way that will clearly happen in our lifetime once, and let me get my joke up on it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Mint. And Andy, I could sit here and spend 8 hours talking about our 8 years. I won't do that. But when Andy and I when I took office with the mayor 8 years ago, we were facing incredible deficit. it was talked about double-digit tax increases to the tune of, 20% layoffs, you name it. We have hit hard times again, and Andy, the mayor, myself, the council at that time, we worked very closely together, hours, minutes, days, to figure out, how can that tax increase come down from 28%? How do we save employees, not raise water rates? And stating that Andy put in just countless hours. We also came in and we were receiving the financial reports that council should have received. We worked together to figure that out. And each year, Andy, your reports get better and better and better. And the council with the administration works very hard. That's not going to take steps backwards. And Andy, what you have done is our job. You have worked to build a foundation for the future, and that's going to continue. It is bittersweet, but at the same time, we all move on. Folks talk about that 7-year itch, and every 7 years, folks should look for something new, something fresh. But saying that, Andy, I'm going to miss you. I know that you're a phone call away. And I know when I see Andy's name come across my phone, I don't say hi, I say, what happened? I'm gonna miss that, Andy, but I know in the next 2.5, 3 weeks, there's gonna be a lot of those calls from me to you. So saying that, thank you, Andy, for your service, not just during my 8 years, but I believe your, how many years? 2013, I believe, right? So 10 years of service here in the city of Troy. You always put the Troy taxpayers, residents first, never have personal agenda, never play politics, at least from what I saw. And I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all that you have done in the past 10 years. Thank you, Andy, and we'll be chatting, buddy. Thank you. We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, resolution 117 carries 6-0. Resolution 118, resolution commending Laura Amo for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Councilmember Steele, Council President Antello, is there a motion? So motion, Councilmember Mann, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion.
Council President.
Sure, Councilmember Steele.
Yes, in commending Laura Amos, I just want to point out, her name may not be familiar to some folks who attend our meetings on a monthly basis, or those who listen in or watch us on TV. However, if you are in City Hall or if you are in need of information, she has been for the last 8 years the go-to person. Since January 1st, 2016, she has been the executive assistant to Mayor Madden, and she has overseen the day-to-day operations, the affairs of the mayor's office while fielding constituent requests, resolving neighborhood disputes with the help of city officials. She's brought an acute understanding of Troy in her role, and I might add, it's a very unique role because she's not only the mayor's executive assistant, but she's the wife of a former mayor. So she certainly understood the scope of the position. Laura has given 110% of herself to this job. She's going to be sorely missed. And I think this is a commendation duly worth its weight.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele. Further discussion?
Council President.
Councilmember Gully, then Councilmember.
You know, when I first came to the council 8 years ago and I went to the mayor's office, Laura was very, very open and friendly with me. I was surprised by that because I was fearing politics, the left, the right, treat everybody with a little bit of static. She never once did anything but make me feel comfortable in that office. I think that's very unique for somebody that didn't even know who I was. And she carried herself well as a mayor's executive assistant. Each time I called, if the mayor or the deputy mayor were in the building, I would get to them. wait or get a call back, she would say, okay, Jim. You know, she was very attentive to details, and you gotta respect that out of someone who sits there day in and day out and sees the hecticism of what can happen on the fifth floor here. And I think she handled it very well, like very professionally. I'm sad to see her go, but I'm happy to see that she had a great time here. I'm glad I got to share the 8 years where we get to know her better.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Councilmember Min.
Yeah, Laura will be missed, and, you know, that, when someone, whether it's one of us or someone who lives in Troy, walks into the mayor's office, usually they're walking in with concern, a problem, and she is the first person that will respond and answer. And she does so with grace and kindness and intelligence, and that is something that is so appreciated and leads to problem solve. And you know, that the confidential assistant, the executive assistant role, they are the linchpin of any office. And so she will definitely be missed, and her service to the city is deep in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Min. Councilmember Soriento.
Laura, I want to say thank you so much for the years that you put in and for your hard work and dedication. I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Conley Wilson.
Yeah, I also want to thank Laura for her hard work. She's always been very welcoming when I come into the office and make sure that I got to who I need to see, or if they weren't available, you know, let me know. But yeah, very accommodating and just a great person to be around. So I really appreciate her professionalism and her service.
And, you know, being the gatekeeper of a mayor is not an easy job, so it's a tough job. So thank you, Laura, for your service to Troy. We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, resolution 118 carries 6-0. Resolution 119, resolution commending Christopher Nolan for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Member Steele, Council President Mantello, is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Conley Wilson, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion. Councilmember Steele.
City of Troy was very fortunate, February 14th, 2022, when Christopher Nolan began service as our deputy mayor. He brought with him a tremendous amount of knowledge, and he has done an exemplary job. I could read this resolution, but I think I'll just highlight some of the major accomplishments, the fact that he has overseen more than 500 people in the city workforce, the investment of over $5 million to transform our parks citywide. That's not a small task, and he's done it, attending to every detail and listening to a lot of complaints, I'm sure, along the way. The conversion of Troy's streetlights to energy efficient LED technology was another one of his accomplishments. And Council President and myself saw the way in which he's so gingerly and politically correctly navigated the ARPA funding to disperse money to our nonprofits in our city throughout, to really transform programs that are going to last long after we all leave. Chris, I can't thank you enough. And I really wish you all the best as you go forward. You're going to be sorely missed.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele. Councilmember Conley Wilson.
I feel like Councilmember Steele said a lot, but it's really been a pleasure to work alongside Chris. I feel like anytime I ask for a meeting or need to discuss like what's going on with parks, and we're talking about the skate parks and whole bunch of other, things. Anytime I had a question, got back to me. And so I really appreciate that. And, you know, historic first of him being the first openly gay person to serve the second highest ranking in Troy. So, something that, that happened this year was Pride, first ever in Troy. And I remember going there with all my friends and seeing like, who are all these people that I've never seen before? And it was a really beautiful event, especially given what's happening nationally. So we're really lucky and fortunate to have that representation in the city hall. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Further, yep, Councilmember Mann.
Chris, you joined the party pretty close to when we joined the party. And, you know, and had big shoes to fill, from the previous deputy mayor. And that is very challenging to do. And we see the impact of, you know, the work that the administration has done in partnership with the council, whether it's the alleys, the murals that have completely transformed Church Street Alley, to be one of the most beautiful spaces in downtown Troy, where previously it was one of the least welcome space. And I have to second Councilmember Conley Wilson's statement. You know, Troy was long overdue to have a major Pride celebration, and it was amazing. And Albany, watch out, because we're coming, and we're gonna do it better. So thank you. You started the ball rolling, and thank you for being part of the bridge to RPM, because that relationship is, I think, one that is being rebuilt, and is positioning Troy as a national leader in so many different things, and is going to help bring major industries to our region and raise so many people. And, you know, it is really important that we have that town-gown connection, and your previous work there, I think, laid the groundwork. So thank you for that work, and, you know, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Councilmember Mann. Councilmember Gully.
Chris, we might not have started off as smooth as we should have, but I have to tell you, through our relationship, it really came around. I really appreciate the fact that when we communicated, we came to a cure and we solved the problem. I thank you for finishing up the pavilion at Powers Park, which needed it. I also thank you for your styling class to put the lights and decorate that to make everybody in Berg feel warm. I wish I could have recorded all the great comments from people who talked about how nice the park looked. And I think that now we need to incorporate that in a lot of our parks. You know what? That was a tremendous thing you did, but I noticed it in the people. The lights might have been one thing, but when the people got together, those lights softened them right up. It was really great. Thank you for your time, and I wish you the best in your future.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Good luck in the next chapter. Thank you.
Council President.
Councilmember Soriento.
Chris, I want to say thank you so much for your service, and I do wish you best luck. And thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Soriento. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 119 carries 6-0. The resolution of the NIA resolution commending, I apologize, William Patrick Matthews for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Councilmember Steele, Council President Mantello, is there a motion? Motion. Aye. Councilmember Ben, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Councilmember Steele.
Thank you, Council President. Mayor, as you know, and maybe counting the hours to December 31st, you will conclude your second and final term as mayor of the great city of Troy. And since 2016, Mayor Patrick Madden has tirelessly served the residents, families, and businesses of Troy, advancing an agenda to invest in neighborhoods, rebuild our infrastructure, strengthen public safety, and advance balanced budgets to protect taxpayers. And during his tenure as chief executive of the Collar City, Mayor Madden and his administration successfully rebuilt Troy's financial foundation through the approval of 8 consecutive balanced budgets that prioritize the responsible use of taxpayer dollars through fact-based budget practices. And whereas the strict oversight and controls employed by the Madden administration over the city's finances helped end state oversight of Troy's budgets for the first time in 3 decades. Whereas Troy's economic rebirth during Patrick Madden's tenure as mayor was reinforced by historic credit rating upgrades, including A+ with a stable outlook from S&P Global Ratings, the highest rating the city of Troy has ever received from S&P, and an A1 from Moody's Investors Services, which reaffirmed the strong financial controls and oversight employed by the Madden administration, along with the successful repayment of all outstanding legacy debt to the Municipal Assistance Corporation, otherwise known as MAC, which was created as part of the state-backed bailout of the Collar City due to overspending and widespread financial mismanagement of the city in the 80s. And whereas during his 8 years as mayor, he presided over countless major public and privately funded projects in neighborhoods across the city, including but not limited to renovation of the South Troy swimming pool, demolition of the abandoned Leonard Hospital, start of replacement of the Tom Hannock water transmission lines, stabilization of the downtown seawall, revitalization of parks throughout the city, paving of 50 miles of city streets, upgrades and improvements to the Freer Park Municipal Golf Course, critical upgrades to Troy fire stations, deployment of multiple new fire engines and ambulances, completion of the Ingalls Avenue boat launch, replacement of the traffic control and facilities building, demolition of the long vacant Taylor Apartments, replacement of the Campbell Avenue Bridge, conversion of Troy's streetlights to energy efficient LED technology, and expansion of renewable solar energy arrays across the city to address climate change and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. And whereas Mayor Madden led the city of Troy through the COVID-19 pandemic, ensuring the continued delivery of critical services to Troy residents and families during a once-in-a-century major global public health crisis, followed by the responsible allocation of funds from President Biden's American Rescue Plan Act to critical organizations and projects aimed at supporting Troy's successful economic growth. Now therefore be it resolved that the Troy City Council does hereby pause in its deliberations to honor and commend William Patrick Madden for his 8 years of service as mayor of the city of Troy and commitment to improve the quality of life for all Trojans.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second discussion.
Council President.
Councilmember Gully.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we have 17 days, 4 hours, 24 minutes left to go. What do you want to do? We got time to do something really good.
Counting.
Hey, I just want to say that you and I share the same length of time in City Hall. You were here a lot more than I was, but the time we shared, I got to feel everything that was going on through your office, and there was a lot. When you came in, every place was the city was a disaster. And although, like everybody else, we don't all agree, but we find a way. And I appreciate your hard work, your dedication. You're definitely a good numbers guy. You really brought us out of the hole, and I respect that. And I think that you put us in a good place to move forward. And I know that future administrations, even after the next one, will be able to stand on their feet because of the work that you've done during your 8 years. I thank you for that, and had a lot of fun. Think about those 17 days. We still got time.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully.
Chair.
Councilmember Conley Wilson.
Mayor Madden, when you got into office, I was still in college, so, I've kind of seen the way that, sorry. I've really just seen the way that Troy has like changed and, just really seeing the ways in which you can see the investment of the different neighborhoods and seeing, just the changes in the city. And you might not notice it kind of day to day being like a citizen, but as I've been on the other side of things, it's been, really phenomenal to kind of see the work it takes to do each and every one of these little things, whether it's the sidewalks, paving the roads, implementing the lead service line replacements, all of that. It really takes a tremendous amount of leadership. And I've seen like your fiscal responsibility and your realism. I remember having many conversations where I'm like, well, I think we should do this. And you're like, I agree, but we can't really do that right now. And it's like, oh, let me see if I can figure it out. Sometimes I think I managed to do something, sometimes didn't. But I really appreciate that. Putting together the task force, I joined that in 2019 and seeing that together was something I think was really necessary and mandatory. And I'll also miss your tie as well. I really appreciate that. Now, I got a little bit of swag there.
After we got that.
Thank you, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Councilmember Soriano.
Mayor, it's been a pleasure, even working, when I was working full-time. It was really nice working with you. And, I want to thank you for all of your years of service here and your dedication. I really truly, wish the best for you and thank you for everything.
Thank you, Councilmember Soriano. Councilmember Mims.
I knocked on a lot of doors this year, and the consistent thing that I heard was appreciation from the public for Troy's finances being not the kind that keep you up at night. And, when you can't pay the bills, it's the anxiety spread. And I think that because not only have through your work and through your leadership and your partnership with the council, you've led the city back to a firm foundation that financial house is strong. And, you're a housing guy, the foundation's gotta be there, the roof's gotta be there, the walls gotta be there before you can have people living inside and finding joy and building their lives. And that's what Troy has now. And I think that has rebuilt a lot of trust in our government, which allows people to take risks in Troy, to start their businesses here, to invest here, to push beyond their comfort zone, because they know that their city has a strong foundation to build on, and that foundation is not going to erode and not going to fall away. And we see it in so many different ways manifesting, and that is only going to accelerate and expand. And so, every time your legacy is going to have this ripple effect, and it is set a tone, and it is set a very high standard. No future mayor will ever be able to slide back to where Troy was in the 80s, in the 90s, and where we were when you took office. And I think you have given the council, you have given future mayors a set of tools with good financial practices in partnership with the comptroller, and that sets people up for success. Thank you for setting up Troy for success, and we will continue to build on it, I promise.
Thank you, Councilmember Mims. in there, any advice, you know, I'm here, and believe me, the mayor and I have met a few times over the past couple of weeks, many heart to hearts, and hopefully over the next 2 weeks, some do's and don'ts. I must tell you, when the mayor and I came in, as I said earlier, we definitely do not see eye to eye all the time. But the one thing the mayor and I have in common, we love our city. And, the mayor, does not put, politics over people, and I appreciate that at the end of the day. We have disagreed on a number of issues, but we have also found common ground. So I just want to thank you, Mayor, for, your past 8 years. If anyone knows, if you're in public service, you're away from your family. I'm sure Amy is going to be happy to get you, hopefully back home, maybe. And, one thing though, you know, you think you know a lot about someone, the mayor and I have gotten to know each other, I think, a little bit personally. And, one of the things I found out just recently, the mayor bakes. So I think at our last, council meeting next week, maybe the mayor could bring some baked cookies or something like that. Hopefully mine, no. So say that, Mayor, thank you so much for your service these past 8 years, and I really wish you well on your next chapter. I don't see you retiring, and thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you these next couple of weeks to continue that transition, and I promise you, we are not going to take steps backwards, so thank you. You have a motion, we have a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 120 carries 6-0. I will take a motion to adjourn, we'll go right into the special. We have a motion, Councilmember Soriento, we have a second. Councilmember Conley Wilson, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. I promise you, it won't be as long as the finance, but I'm sure we still have great things to say about each other. All right, I will open up this special meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. How about Councilmember Conley? Right, roll call, Maria.
Councilmember Going,
Here.
Councilmember Figueroa, Councilmember Steele,
President.
Councilmember Men,
Here.
Councilmember Conley Wilson,
President.
Councilmember Soriento.
Here.
Council President Manzello.
I'm here.
6 are present, 1 is absent.
Okay, approval of minutes, we will scratch, that's for the regulars. Presentation of the agenda, all the items that previously passed at the finance are now on special. And now we'll open out to you. We have a public forum. Would anyone like to speak on any item on the agenda? Okay, we'll close the public forum. Okay. Hello, your name, your address, your.
Maria Devon, Emerald Green. I just wanted to say, Carm, thanks for the last 8 years, and good luck to you. I appreciate all your hard work last year. So there was nothing on the agenda for you, so I just wanted to say thanks. I was new to this role, new to government. You really helped me kind of come into my own here. So I was working from home for 2.5 years before this. So thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. That's very nice.
Oh,
No, I
sorry.
am not giving her a raise. No. Hi,
Hi,
please.
thank you.
Yes, how are you? And congratulations.
so much.
And the whole family here.
Thank you, and thanks for having me here. My name is Elizabeth Gray. I'm at 268 Third Street. County has served as our council person, and I just wanted to make a statement to say that we are so grateful for her service. I think that Kiani came in really strong to the position and only grew over the first position. And I have been grateful for the personal
assistance in all different ways, anytime we've ever had an issue, and really admire. So thank you, and, we were very close neighbors throughout that time. So grateful to be a part of the family. Keep on you, we're trying to say thank you to Karen, you want to? All right. Thank you, thank you to all of you. for your service.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice. Would anyone else like to say anything? Hi, Eric.
Well, Eric Wisher, 30 Fairfield Road, President of Trade Reform Firefighters. I'd like to thank everybody for their service. Some are staying on, but those that aren't, right? Takes a lot of guts to get up and run for office and then be successful after you won. Right, all you do is get complaints from people. Nobody thanks you. But thanks for your service. Thanks to the mayor, the deputy mayor, Andy, Laura. Thanks for all your effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Very kind. Would anyone else like to speak on any item on the agenda? All right, we're going to close the public forum. Ordinance 84.
Ordinance 84, ordinance amending the general fund and capital projects fund budget, Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion? So moved. Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Min. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
The 6 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 84 passes.
Ordinance 85.
Ordinance 85, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid water charges onto the 2024 property tax bills, Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
And I love that anyway. And I do, I love it. I missed it. Is there a motion? So moved. Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 85 passes.
Ordinance 86.
Ordinance 86, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid vacant building fees, Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion? So moved. Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second. Second is a tie. Councilmember Conley and Councilmember Min. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 86 passes.
Ordinance 87.
Ordinance 87, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid charges for water and sewer shop work services onto the 2024 property tax bills, Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second. Second, Councilmember Min. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 87 passes.
Ordinance 88.
Ordinance 88, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid solid waste management fees onto the 2024 property tax bills, Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 88 passes.
Ordinance 89.
Ordinance 89, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid bulk pickup fees and garbage fines onto the 2024 tax bills, Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Min. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 89 passes.
If you notice, this council's become a competition with motions in the second. Ordinance 90.
Ordinance 90, ordinance authorizing the re-levy of unpaid demolition charges onto the 2024 property tax bills, Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 90 passes.
Ordinance 91.
Ordinance 91, ordinance authorizing the sale of surplus real property acquired by and rent foreclosure of the premises at 454 Hoosick Street. Council President Mantel at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained.
5 ayes, 0 no's, I always
Abstention.
abstention. Ordinance 91 passes.
Resolution 111.
Resolution 111, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an employment agreement with the chief of the Troy Fire Department on behalf of the city. Council President Montalvo, the request of administration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Conley Wilson, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 111 passes.
Resolution 112.
Resolution 112, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into employment agreements with the chief, deputy chief, and assistant chief of the Troy Police Department on behalf of the city. Council President Montalvo, the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Bennett, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 112 passes.
Resolution 113.
Resolution 113, resolution commending Jim Gully for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Council President Montalvo.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Sorrento, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele, discussion?
Council President.
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
It's hard to believe, really is. I mean, I know you guys are sitting out there but unless you sat out there for every meeting for 8 years, you would not know what I'm talking about. I know Mr. December does.
Yeah.
What seems to be so easy sometimes can be so tasking and so daunting. And that happens when you're dealing with policy, when you're dealing with people with so many different backgrounds. I've been blessed. I would have never thought I would be here for 8 years. I thought they'd throw me out after the first year. But somebody must have seen something, but the people I've met along the way and the individuals I've had conversation with both here on the council and in the city has changed my life. And I know that's not like a drastic statement. I don't think it's drastic, but it does. Every time you meet somebody and you're able to listen to them to understand instead of listen to respond, you get to learn a lot about people in our city. We have some very, very passionate individuals in our city. We all have the same goal in mind, but we take different roads to get there. We have to find out how to find that common road. That was a difficult task amongst, some of the councils that I've been on. I will say one thing, as Mayor-elect Carmela Mantello had stated, this council was special. And to all the angels on this council, it was such an honor to share time with you and to get to know you better as people and to work together to try to get things done. I think this was my most exciting council, no offense. My most exciting council because there wasn't a lot of politics or bashing or backhand stabbing, It was really, I gotta say, I'm walking out under a pleasure. Of all the times, this council, I will remember for the rest of my life. I thank each and every one of you for the time you spent with me and the time I got to spend. And my last note is this, that the people of Lansingburg and people of Troy, I am freaking honored. I would have never thought that this is where I'd be over my last 8 years, and my wife didn't think that either. But here I am. And just being able to say that you served your friends, your family, and the residents around you is something big to honor and keep with me for the rest of my life. So I thank all of you for everything I've learned and all the people out there who allowed me to sit in this seat and that seat and that seat. So it's been a great time, and I appreciate everything that's happened to me in my life. Thank you.
We have a motion, we have a second, further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 113 is
Resolution.
passed.
Resolution 114.
No.
Resolution 114.
Resolution 114, resolution commending Keani Conley Wilson for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Council President Montalvo.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Mann. Everybody, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Conley.
I'm really honored to see, so many folks out here, a lot of friends and folks that help, canvas or host, events, welcome space. Folks that I met as constituents that became friends, predecessors, all of that. Just really honored and family is here. I don't know where. One of many siblings. And, just really honored and humbled to have been able to serve you guys and the next couple weeks still serving you guys. And, did not expect to get here when I was like, yeah, I'll run for city council. Why not? I did not think I was gonna win. And, really honored, and it was just an amazing experience and very challenging for sure. But, I've tried to lead with compassion, and with my heart, and also just with in mind my own perspectives and taking into consideration perspectives of folks that may not have been as fortunate as me, may not have been represented prior. And so it's been a real honor to get on this council and to serve with you guys as well, and kind of find my place here. And I hope to continue it. So thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for being here.
A testament to Councilmember Conley Wilson, the folks that came out tonight, and your predecessor, David December. That's very cool, David. Very classy, very classy. Thank you, Councilmember. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same. Just say abstain.
5 ayes, 0 no's, 1 abstention.
Abstaining.
One person abstained, how about that? How's that, right?
Resolution 150.
Resolution 115, resolution commending Stephen Figueroa for giving his service to the city of Troy, Council President Gonzalez.
Is there a motion? So moved. Motion, Councilmember Steele. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Conley Wilson. And we must go down and say hi to Steve before the end of the year. Okay? We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 115 passes.
Resolution 160.
Resolution 116, resolution commending Emily Men for distinguished service to the city of Troy, Council President Mantello.
I'm gonna make a motion that Councilmember Men cannot speak again. No. Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion. Okay. Councilmember Men.
I will say, it's been an incredible honor, challenge. But I decided to run for this, and because my whole district was facing economic collapse. I was watching friends who owned businesses, my tenants lose their jobs due to COVID, and feeling lost and abandoned. And I know that government can't solve all problems, but you know what you can do? Show up and work hard. And I think that we've done that as a group, and I know that that is something that I've strived to do. And connecting people, connecting them with resources, with opportunities they didn't even know about, I didn't know about. And the thing about this role is that information flows to you, and you have a duty and obligation to get it out as fast and as accurately as possible to as many people so that they can take advantage of it. And in the time that I've been here, I've seen my district rebound, I've seen Troy rebound from the devastation that COVID wreaked on us as a community, as individuals, our livelihoods, our health. And we're in a better place, but we need to keep supporting each other. Because there's always work to do. On the side of my house, I have painted, work hard and be kind. And I would just say, anyone that's stepping up to help their community in whatever capacity they have, whatever tools they can bring to the table, whether that's elected office, volunteering, showing up to one event, treat them with kindness, because they are there to give of themselves. And that is what brings a community together. That is what draws people to serve in whatever capacity they can. Raise people up, raise people up. And every time you want to write that mean thing on the internet or say that mean thing behind someone's back, don't do it. Raise them up. So we have so much to give. So thank you so much. I want to say thank you to District 4, thank you to Troy as a whole, and I'm so blessed all the people that I've met and will continue to meet because of this 2 years. Thank you.
We have a motion, we have a second, further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 116 passes.
Resolution 117.
Resolution 117, resolution commending Andrew Petrowski for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Council President Mantel, Councilmember Steele.
Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Conley Wilson, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion? Thank you again, Andy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 117 passes.
Resolution 118.
Resolution 118, resolution commending Laura Amos for distinguished services to the city of Troy. Councilmember Steele, Council President Mantel.
Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 118 passes.
Resolution 119.
Resolution 119, resolution commending Christopher Nolan for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Councilmember Steele, Council President Mantel.
Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 119 passes.
And resolution 120.
Resolution 120, resolution commending William Patrick Madden for distinguished service to the city of Troy. Councilmember Steele, Council President Mantello.
Is there a motion? Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second? Second, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6 ayes, 0 no's, resolution 120 passes.
The final public forum. Would anyone like to come up to the podium and bring up any issue happening on your street in the city? Here's your chance. Yes, sir. Hi there.
Yeah, good evening, Romello Conyers. I'm down here on, 812 River Street. Between, what's that, Happy Lunch, right there on that corner. That's a busy street. An accident was there like, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And, I'm wondering, can we get some like, road stop, slow down, a sign or something? Because there is a school down at the other end of the corner. But the traffic, the speed is outrageous. That's all I have.
No, we appreciate that. We will, report that to the traffic, in, the TPD. Will ensure that some enforcement happens, but more importantly, we'll also have streets come and see if they can put some signage up, okay?
Absolutely.
And, you know, enforcement and signage are necessary, and
Right.
thank you for alerting us. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
And congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Anyone else like to say anything to the council? All right, we have one more meeting left next week. I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion, Councilmember Soriento, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Steele, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you, folks.